We are ready for the 2019-2020 Prowler Wrestling Banquet. Excited to bring that to you here on April 23rd of 2020. A little later than usual, but here we go. The team finished up the year as a Section 8 AA runner-ups, a 20-9 season record, and the first time they made the section finals in 9 years. Very exciting season for these young men, and we'll get started with our season highlights. These highlights are in order of appearance during the season, so let's get started. First highlight of the year, first ever JV match held in Goodrich at the Goodrich Gym. They just redid the gym in Goodrich, and we were able to open that up with some wrestling, and it was really a nice experience, especially for a lot of our younger wrestlers, especially our two Goodrich wrestlers, Kia Nelson and Jolson Sargent. Our second highlight of the year is from the Rick Lee in Bemidji. We beat Tracy for the second year in a row on the first day to make the finals of the prestigious Rick Lee duels. Jolson Sargent getting a huge pin for us at heavyweight. He was down 7-1 at the time. He was able to lateral drop his opponent and get the fall and send us to the finals for the second year in a row with a lot of excitement. Number 3, also happening at the Rick Lee, the Saturday portion of the tournament. Brandon Zuniga was behind against Colton Heinrichs from Bemidji. I think it was around 10-1 or something like that. Locked up a cradle, pinned him in the third period. Crowd went nuts. Our bench went crazy. Great win for Brandon. Third highlight of the year for Cole Johnson. He just wrecked people all year long. And I've been coaching for a long time, and I haven't seen anyone do what Cole did to a lot of opponents this year, just physically overpowering them. State champ out of North Dakota, Cole took down 3-4 times in the first period before he pinned him. Guy who took third or fourth place at 182 pounds in Class A, Cole majored this year. He just was able to bully people around. It was a lot of fun to watch. Brady Kasperk and Cody Wienen both got their 100th career wins this year. Cody was able to get it at the Walker tournament, and Brady got it with his first win at the state tournament. Very exciting for those two 10th graders. Another one that's kind of all year long, Mason Iverson's quick pins. I think it counted it up at one time. Mason had 15 pins in under 30 seconds this year. Almost unheard of. When he wanted to get after it and pin a kid, he went out and got after it, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Next one, and as far as the team goes, the team highlight of the year, knocking off Perm in the section semifinals en route to a runner-up finish in the 8AA tournament. 3 things I want to point out from that one. 3 come from behind pins. Kian Nelson, 120 pounds. Cody Wienen at 132 pounds. And Aaron Bruggeman kind of sealing it at 160 pounds with a huge pin to kind of set us on our way to making the section finals. Again, the first section finals appearance since 2011. Super proud of these guys. We defeated Perm 38-32 that Friday night. And in their own gym as well, taking it away from the Ralph for the first time in 10 years. We head to Perm and knocked them out of the finals. Next one, Griffin Lundine's headlock to win in the section tournament. Griffin got taken down early in the section finals, and he was able to catch a headlock and pin his opponent and send himself to his first state tournament trip. That was awesome to watch, and really in the finals got us started off on a good note. Next highlight, Cody Wienen's come-from-behind win at sections. He was also behind late in the match, was able to get a reversal and back points to claim his first ever section title, first trip to the state tournament, and won his 22nd match in a row. Quite an impressive stretch for Cody. Next one occurred in the finals as well. Jake Davis was able to get his 200th career win, winning the section title kind of in convincing fashion. Jake becoming only the 3rd ever Prowler with 200 wins. Next one is Cale Geyser's come from behind pin to make it to the state tournament. Cale was behind 13-1 to start the third period, was able to secure a reversal to a half Nelson, pin his opponent, send the crowd wild, and make the state tournament through the true second match. Quite the comeback, and really in my years of coaching, I don't remember a bigger come-from-behind win in a bigger match. And finally, Jake Davis in the quarterfinals secures a takedown in the final seconds to defeat undefeated Tyler Wells out of Princeton to make the semifinals and secure his spot on the medal stand. Super proud moment, all the work Jake's put in. That was an awesome highlight at the state tournament for us. All right, moving on. Records set during the year. The team had the most individual wins ever as a team at 428. The team also set the record for most pins by a team at 228, and they tied for the most team wins in a season at 20. One other note, the most cauliflower ear. We had 4 different wrestlers have cauliflower ear this year. Kind of an odd year for that. I'm going to move on to wrestler introductions. I will bring out each grade level and chat about each individual kid, and we'll bring them out by grade level. We will start with 6th grade. Keegan Hermanson, flop-haired high flyer. Keegan gets after it. He's not afraid to use offense, and he's been real fun to watch as a 6th grader. Joey Bruggeman, a fun, happy kid. Super happy he came back out for wrestling, and he's just a fun kid to have in the room. His smile is fun to watch, and he's just a good-natured young individual, and we hope to keep him out. Moving on to 7th grade. This is a group. They're a wild, crazy, fly-off-the-wall group. They have a ton of potential, so I'm excited to see what they can bring down the road. All that energy is going to bring a lot of success, I think, to the Prowler program. Maverick Iverson, the word that comes to mind, dangerous. Maverick can catch anybody from anywhere. Pretty tough that way. Next one, Noah Jacobson, a wrist and a half. He really learned that midway through the year, and at the Rick Lee invite, pinned his way to the title with basically a wrist and a half. Super fun to watch. Brennan Johnson, improvement. Got better every day. The last couple of years, it's just improved so much. And a lot of it's just a lot of hard work in the wrestling room and getting after it in the wrestling room. Wade Nelson came back out and worked hard. He's another one that in the wrestling room, especially during live, he got after it. He went hard and got better because of it. Anthony Peralta showed some grit, whether it was wrestle-offs or in the wrestling room or being behind in a match. He didn't quit. He never gave up and was never out of a match because of that. Has a good future because of that. Eli Wilepski fights hard. Doesn't matter what point of the match he's in, he's going to go after it. You know, whether it's throwing a headlock or doing a elevator. He's dangerous. You're going to keep getting after it. This whole group is dangerous. They're going to be fun to watch when they're seniors. Super exciting group. Moving on to 8th grade. This is our biggest group. I'm going to start with Nick Sphere. He's smiley and a good teammate. Nick is just always a super teammate to the entire team, whether younger, older, just a fun kid to have around. Ethan Lane does things right, and I mean this in the classroom and in the wrestling room. You want someone to follow in the footsteps of how they do things. Ethan Lane is a good one to pick, whether it's doing technique, drilling, or the classroom. Like I said, he just does things right, and he's an easy kid to coach, that's for sure. Griffin Lundeen, not like most 8th graders. What I mean by that is he's super mature, and that's both mentally and physically. The things he's capable of at his age, almost unheard of. You know, I've coached for a long time, and what Griffin brings to the table as an 8th grader is really neat. Riley Poissant, dangerous. I'm going to use that word dangerous quite a bit throughout the highlights here of each grade level. And I think it's important to note, being dangerous means you're never out of a match. And Riley certainly is that. And he's super aggressive and gets after it. The next one, Kian Nelson, I'm going to use the same word, dangerous. If you think about that match against Perm that helped send us to the section finals, if Kian's not dangerous, we're not in the section finals. He was able to hit a move and pin a kid, and it's because of the danger he brings into every match. You know, and so that's really awesome to see out of Kian and Riley both. Tristan Swan, new kid who showed some flashes. Excited to see what he can bring to the table down the road as a heavyweight for us. If he keeps working hard, he has some potential. 9th grade, Kale Geyser. Turned a corner. I think this year he's always worked pretty hard, but I think he found a new level of hard work and putting in good hard work, whether it was working in the morning with Coach Youngbloom or paying attention to what Coach Fimbo had to say. I think he really turned a corner, and it showed in the year how he matured on the mat. Going into that true second match, Kale was pretty dangerous as well, and he stuck with it. I think Kale mentally, I don't know if he'd have won that match a year ago, but this year I think he matured and turned that corner both mentally and physically, and that allowed him to make the state tournament. Carter Ingebrigtsen, great teammate. Carter through the years has just been a guy that as a coach I can rely on to give me a barometer of how things are going with the kids, and he's just a good person for our kids to hang out with and be around, which is an awesome compliment for any kid. Jackson Ingram, happy-go-lucky, fun teammate. You know, he's kind of one of the kids, I think, that helps everyone else stay loose. And every team needs someone like that, and Jackson does a nice job for these guys. Moving on to 10th grade, Brady Kasprick. I'm going to use the word competed this year. He's wrestled a ton in his life. This is the first year he competed in a section tournament, and it went amazingly well. I look at how hard he competed, and I'm going to point out 2 matches. The section finals, he wrestled Brody Elliott, who he had given up a major to the week before, and he took him to the wire. Dang near took him to overtime. And then you look at the state tournament, draws a number 2 seed, and throws him to his back and almost pins him at the end. Didn't back down, showed some grit and competitiveness, and I think that's going to take Brady a long ways the next couple of years. Cody Weenan, competitor is the word I'm going to use. Hates to lose. And that takes Cody a long ways. The danger factor Cody brings to the table. All those things combined to give Cody that 22-match winning streak I talked about earlier. He was behind in a lot of those matches, but refused to lose. And such a good mat wrestler, and he's never out of a match because of that. If I take Cody the beginning of the year to what he made it to at the end of the year, an amazing turnaround. And really in his psyche and his competitive spirit and what he put into getting better at the end of the year. Early on, Cody stumbled a few times, and he was struggling mentally, but he turned that corner, and I tell you what, I haven't seen a fun stretch like that of a kid in a long time, and just super excited about Cody's future. Colin Bruggeman. I'm going to use offense because Colin, when he uses offense and gets after it, wins matches. He led the JV in pins, which tells you that he gets after it, knows how to pin kids. And I'd like to see him turn that corner and be able to do that at the varsity level next year. I know he can. He's got the athletic ability and the offense, so I'd love to see him get after it. Jolson Sargent, gamer. He was an undersized heavyweight and didn't complain. Always went out there for us and did his job and fought. If I can go point out one match, and it's not even a match that Jolson won, but DGF had us on the ropes here in the section quarterfinals at the Brick House, and Jolson just had to not get pinned by a pretty tough kid and was able to do that. And as coaches, we were sitting there trying to figure out, what does Jolson have? What do we have to do if we tie this match to win it? About halfway through Jolson's match at heavyweight, we said, you know what? If Jolson doesn't get pinned, we win. And he was able to do that, and that was really fun to watch. And, just shows that match, the Tracy match, Jolson, never count him out. Bowen Miller goes hard, gives great effort. Super happy with the effort Bowen gives us every single time. Send Bowen out there, oftentimes against older kids, bigger kids, but he's going to give us great effort. You never, ever are going to have to question the effort Bowen puts forth. A lot of kids could take something from Bowen's effort in a match. All right, moving on to the juniors. Dakota Fellman. Dakota Fellman, I'm going to put intimidation / looks tough. There's a story at the Walker tournament where Jake Davis was having Dakota take his singlet down a little bit and flex his muscles and show his tattoos to the kid he had to wrestle, and Dakota was able to pin the kid in about 11 seconds. He's definitely got the look, and if he starts putting in the time and working hard, he could have a really great senior year. Mason Iverson, finisher. Something needs to get done in a match for us to win it. Mason's going to go do it. He had so many quick pins for us this year. And Mason's another one that turned a corner. He put in a lot of really good quality time in the wrestling room this year that made him better. I saw him turn a corner that way, and that made a difference in his wrestling. Kirby Kylan, headlock master. Kirby throws a headlock from everywhere, but he's got a really good one if you pay close attention. He's always got that arm. And when he's got that arm, and if he catches that head, it's over. And Kirby had 20-plus wins on the year, and a lot of them were because of that great headlock he has. Arslan Ovazov, Aussie. Foreigner. He's from Turkmenistan, so it fits. But really, for Aussie, he worked super hard. He came in and took a licking against Cole Johnson, Jake Davis, Brady Kasprick, you name it, but kept coming after it. And it was just fun to watch his competitive spirit in the practice room, and his work ethic was really neat to see. Brandon Zuniga, focused. And Brandon's always been super focused. And this year, I think he took a step up. He joined that group that we count on for wins, match in, match out. It's kind of one of our horses, and that was really an awesome step to see Brandon take. I'm going to point out, too, with Brandon and Mason, they were both named captains towards the end of the year, and deservedly so. There were two guys that really led this team, and I'm excited to see the leadership they bring to the table for next year. Seniors, Isaac Johnson, redheaded heavyweight. He's a guy that finished out his career for us. Fun guy to have around. Definitely a jokester. If you wanted someone to keep the guys loose, Isaac's your guy. Aaron Bruggeman. I'm going to throw this word out again, dangerous, but I think that word fits Aaron, kind of fits our team. Being dangerous, I think it got us into the section finals, and Aaron epitomizes that. If we're not dangerous and offensive and aggressive, we lose to Perm that night. And again, Aaron is kind of the epitome of that danger factor and has been his whole career. I'm going to miss that from Aaron. You know, he's somebody that's a home run hitter and can score points from all over and just a high-flying, fun kid to watch. Jake Davis, dominant. Jake was hardly tested all year. He majored a kid out of Jamestown who ended up winning a state title, had 195 takedowns on the year, was just dominant from every level. His win against Tyler Wells, undefeated kid out of Princeton. I really think Tyler Wells and Jake should have been the 2-3 seeds. Well, you look at the guy at 145 that made the finals was Tulinchek, who Jake beat in the section finals. Jake took him down 5 times. So I think safe to say those guys were the 2 and 3 seeds. But Jake was dominant and really a workman-like guy who just went out every single match and got it done and was able to just kind of dominate everyone who wrestled. Cole Johnson. I'm going to use the word physicality. You know, I talked about Cole a lot on the radio this year about things he was doing to people that I've never seen done. His ability to just physically dominate his opponents was unheard of. You know, I've coached for 18 years. I've never seen anyone do what Cole did to his opponents this year, and it was really unique and fun to watch. I'm going to miss that. This whole group of seniors, I'm going to miss everything they bring to the table. Something I tell wrestlers every year. If you complete a wrestling program, graduate from it, you have my respect for life. You've done something not everyone can do, and you've earned my respect. And last thing I want to tell the seniors is don't be strangers. Come back up to that wrestling room, give back. We love you guys and want to see you guys throughout the years, and good luck in your futures. All right, the managers. Chloe, Ivy, and Tiana did a great job this year. They do the stuff kind of behind the scenes and did a phenomenal job. And super excited to have all 3 of them back next year. Normally I give them flowers, but being we're in lockdown, I can't hand out flowers. But thank you, girls, very much. To the awards portion of the banquet. I'm going to start with the stake awards. This is the perfect practice attendance award. This year, Jake Davis, Kale Geyser, Brandon Zuniga, Griffin Lundeen, Ethan Lane, and Mason Iverson, with 43 practices attended, earned the perfect practice attendance award. And the second tier, I gave out a second tier award this year because there got to be a few things that, you know, unforeseen circumstances, things like that. So the second tier practice attendance, Ozzy, Josh Herrera, Brady Casper, Cody Weening, Colin Bruggeman, Aaron Bruggeman, Keegan Hermanson, Riley Poissant, and Jolson Sargent. The first tier gets a free steak. The second tier gets a burger. We'll have to figure out when we can do that. Not sure. Might be a while. I got the list, and we'll try to get it figured out. Next award, All Conference. Earning All Conference this year for the Prowlers, and it's the North Star Conference that we're a part of. Kale Geyser, Griffin Lundeen, Cody Weenan, Brady Kasprick, Jake Davis, Cole Johnson, and Mason Iverson. Honorable mention All Conference, Aaron Bruggeman, Brandon Zuniga, Jolson Sargent, and Kirby Kylan. Congrats to those boys. Moving on to All Academic Section Award winners. 3 this year, Jake Davis, Brandon Zuniga, and Brady Casper. Congrats to those 3 guys who showed that they can not only work hard in the wrestling room, but in the classroom as well. Our next award, our letter winners. First-time letter winners. Congrats to these guys. You guys can actually get a letter for your Letterman's jacket. You have to call into the athletic office, and they'll get one for you. Nick Sphere, Colin Bruggeman, Jackson Ingram, Josh Herrera, Riley Poissant, Kian Nelson, and Kirby Kylan. Congrats to these first-time letter winners. Returning letter winners, you guys will get an additional pin that you can put on. Kale Geyser, Griffin Lundeen, Ethan Lane, Cody Weenan, Brady Kasprick, Brandon Zuniga, Jake Davis, Cole Johnson, Dakota Fellman, Bowen Miller, Mason Iverson, and Jolson Sargent. Congrats to all of our letter winners, especially the first-time letter winners. All right, the next award on the list is state entrance. We had 7 state entrants this year, which ties for the second most we've ever had. Cale Geyser was runner-up at 106 in sections. Griffin Lundeen was a section champ. Cody Weenan was a section champ. Brady Kasprick was a runner-up at 138 pounds. Jake Davis was a section champ at 145. Cole Johnson was also a section champ at 160 pounds. And Mason Iverson was a section runner-up at 195 pounds. Cale, Griffin, Cody, Brady, and Mason all made their first trips. Jake made his third trip, and Cole Johnson made his second trip. Congrats to this year's state entrants. Our next awards, we're going to move into the statistical categories. Earning their 200th win, Jake Davis on February 22nd became the third member of the 200 Win Club. Congrats, Jake. 100th Win Club, Cody Weenan on January 31st at the Walker Tournament. Got his 100th win. As a sophomore, that's pretty impressive. Brady Kasprick, also a sophomore, got his 100th win February 28th at the state tournament. Congrats to these guys on their win plaques. JV Statistical Awards. Most wins, Noah Jacobson and Riley Poissant. Most pins, Colin Bruggeman and Noah Jacobson. Most takedowns, Noah Jacobson and Brennan Johnson. Most reversals goes to Riley Poissant. And most near falls on the JV this year, Carter Ingebrigtsen and Colin Bruggeman. Congrats to our JV stats winners. Moving into the varsity statistical award categories, we give 4 awards out, starting with most near falls. And this year's award goes to Cody Weenan with 37 near falls. Most takedowns this year for the second year in a row, no surprise, Jake Davis with 195 takedowns. Most pins on the season, this one, a lot of people vied for this. Griffin Lundeen and Cole Johnson had great years and a lot of pins, but this year's award goes to Mason Iverson with 30 pins. Reversals, one away from the team record. Cody Weenan this year wins the award with 34 reversals. Congrats to these stat award winners. We are going to move into the awards that get voted on. The team votes on these awards after the season. We will start with the hardest worker award for the varsity, and the team voted on Griffin Lundeen as our award winner for the hardest worker award. Congrats to Griffin. Next award, hardest worker at the JV level. The team voted Riley Poissant as this winner. Congrats, Riley, on your award for hardest worker. Okay, next award, most improved. I think a lot of people were in the running for this one, and the winner this year for most improved goes to Cale Geyser. Congrats, Cale. Our next award is the Irv Wilson Award. This is an award given out to the most dedicated Lincoln High School Prowler wrestler. And this year's award goes to Jake Davis. I want to point out on the Irv Wilson Award, Jake's dad Mark won the award in 1990, and Jake's uncle Joel won the award in 1992. So Jake is the third Davis to win the award. Congrats, Jake. Next, Mr. Excitement. Our Mr. Excitement Award winner is Cole Johnson, and I'm going to play the video from the Pet Fest. Cole Johnson! Pretty impressive and pretty easy to figure out who gets that award this year, Mr. Excitement. Cole brings a ton of excitement to the sport, and if you know Cole, that's the kind of kid he is, so it's not surprising, and we're sure going to miss that excitement that he brings to Prowler Wrestling. Next award, Most Valuable Wrestler Award, goes to Jake Davis. Jake placed 6th in the state this year. It was awesome to see him get on the medal stand. It's something he definitely earned, and super proud of Jake, and excited to see what his wrestling brings to the table next year. And finally, a Career Achievement Plaque Award winner, Jake Davis this year. He has a career record of 202 and 58, third all-time member of the 200 Win Club. Career takedowns of 628, which is second all-time in Prowler history. He took 6th place in the state this year. He's a 2-time Section 8 AA champion, and throughout his career, Jake won 12 tournament championships. Congrats to Jake Davis. All right, before I get into our final highlight video, I want to just thank a few people and just close up. I really want to thank everyone that made this year such a success for Prowler Wrestling. Again, we got 20 wins on the year, made the section finals for the first time in 9 years in an extremely tough section. There's a lot of things that go into this. It's the parents who've put in a ton of time helping their sons become better wrestlers and better young men. All the coaches we have a great coaching staff, and I want to just take the time to thank all those coaches that we had this year. Josh Bernier, Kevin Finbow, Ben Poissant, Brian Kasprick, Mark Davis, Dale Risted, Andrew Youngboom. Super thankful for the coaching staff and the work they've put in. And in fact, Mark Davis and the staff were awarded the Assistant Coaches of the Year in Section 8AA this year, so congrats to them. I also want to thank my wife and the coaches' wives and our families. Wrestling season gets to be a long season in which we pretty much live, eat, and die wrestling. I wouldn't want it any other way, but our wives put up with a lot, and I want to thank them as well. So, and I also want to thank the fans and all the support Prowler Wrestling gets from the community. That's awesome to see as well. All right, without further ado, I'm going to play the TRF State Qualifiers section highlight video that Andrew Youngbloom put together. There'll be music going, and for those of you that can see it, it's a pretty neat video.